Hello everyone and welcome to the week 89 update for Icarus. In this week we have substantial changes on how you get fur, along with 3 new crafting benches, and some really important quality of life changes. First of all, let's take a look at the 3 new crafting benches which are introduced in the week 89 update. We have the Forge, the Foundry, which is the biggest buildable object currently in Icarus now, and the Advanced Masonry bench. To unlock the Forge, what you'll have to do is go to your tier 3 blueprints, and right under your cement mixer will now be the Forge. This is craftable on the machining bench and it will cost you 20 iron ingots, 150 stone, 8 epoxy and 20 steel ingots. Once you build the Forge, you only can craft platinum tools, weapons, crossbows, bolts and all of that stuff on the Forge now. Anything lower than a platinum, like steel for example, is craftable on the anvil. You cannot craft platinum, titanium on the anvil. To unlock the Advanced Masonry bench, that's also in your tier 3 blueprints and right at the very end. You craft the Advanced Masonry bench on the machining bench, and it will cost you 25 refined wood, 15 epoxy, 80 iron nails and 150 stone, and this requires 250 water. Right now, there's no difference between the regular masonry bench and the advanced masonry bench. Who knows, it might have more uses in the New Frontiers expansion. And the foundry is in tier 4, and it's right below your electric furnace and before all of your titanium tools and weapons. To craft this, it's craftable on the fabricator and it requires 5 titanium plates, 8 electronics, 15 concrete mix, 18 steel screws and 5 glass. It has a power requirement of 2500. The same applies to the foundry as it does with the Forge. The foundry, you can only craft titanium tools and weapons on this. Obviously, you can also craft platinum and steel and iron on the foundry as well. Unlike the Forge can only craft up to platinum. You will need a room at least 2 by 2 by 2 so you can fit this in, as it is 2 blocks high. If you try to put just a flat roof over the top of the foundry, it clips through the top and it looks a mess. That's why it's nice if you put a roof over it like I've done, so there's no clipping. One of the really good quality of life changes in this update is the fact that you can now use charcoal to make steel bloom. So you will see a new recipe become active in your mortar and pestle called Steel Bloom, but this Steel Bloom requires 3 iron ingots and 20 charcoal to craft a steel bloom now. So now is a good time to start saving it up in your fires, all of the charcoal, because it also has another use as well. One thing I forgot to mention before I show you the other use for the charcoal, the Forge is only buildable outside. You cannot build this indoors at all. So the other use for the charcoal is you use it as fuel for the Forge. It's a cheap fuel, but it's a good fuel. For a full stack of charcoal, so that's 500 charcoal, you will get 8 hours and 20 minutes worth of use out of 500. The one good thing about the foundry is its animation. So let's go ahead and just make 10 nails here. And there you go, that's the animation. I find that pretty cool. Another really good quality of life change in this week's update is the fact that building sets are all bundled in together now. So you don't have to spend loads of blueprints to unlock building sets. So for example, if you hover over the wood building base set now, it will tell you what's in there and you will unlock all of these blueprints. So for example, if I want to unlock the wood building base set, I'll get the wood beam, the floor, the wall, the angled and the roof and ramp, plus the wooden door. This is the same for all the building sets now, all the way up to concrete. Another quality of life change this week is also the fact when you die now, you will not get any experience debt, so you won't have to accrue experience again to remove that red bar on your experience bar when you die. That is now a thing of the past. You don't have to worry about experience debt when you die. Another nice change this week is when you craft arrows now, you'll craft them in packs of 5. The higher the tier the arrow, the cost has been reduced. So for example, if I want to craft a flint arrow here, you'll see the number 5 there. I will go ahead and craft 5. And there we go. An interesting change this week as well is the fact that there's been a balance on fur. It's been reduced on aggressive creatures, but it's been increased on passive creatures. So I've just gone ahead and killed the chamois. Let's go ahead and see how much fur we get from this. 11 fur. So I've just taken down a wolf, which is an aggressive animal. So let's see how much fur we get. 5. That is a significant reduction because I used to get about 15 fur from a wolf in the past. There's also been a couple of keybind changes to the game as well. So the notorious Q key to drop items has been unbound by default. So if you are like me when you first started the game, you might have pressed Q, fat fingered it a couple of times, dropped your stuff and never be able to find it ever again. Now, you shouldn't have that issue unless you specifically bind the key. You will now notice loot all has been moved to your Q by default. So now you can loot everything by pressing the hotkey Q. And to finish off the week 89 patch notes, on Saturday there will be a New Frontiers gameplay trailer released on YouTube. I will leave a link to that down in the pinned comments. Make sure you turn on the notifications, you won't want to miss it. That wraps up the week 89 patch notes. Next week is a massive week for Icarus and myself as a content creator. So I hope you're all prepared for New Frontiers launch, because I know I am. As always guys, thank you very much for watching. If you did find this video helpful, leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel. Both them things are absolutely free and it greatly helps the channel's growth. As always, I want to thank my YouTube and Ko-Fi monthly members for supporting me. If you want to support the channel, check the links down in the pinned comments.